welcome back to part 2 of Lock-In. Yes, sir, you've got a story about OAP dolls.
Yes. Now take your mind back to when you were a child. I used to play with all those lovely dolls, remember?
Well, Action Man I used to play
Barbie
with.
Ken,
Yeah.
Action Man.
Yeah.
Well, there's an artist called Maura Kondrick who's written a book called Toy Story, The Later Years. She's made artist impressions of how these dolls would look now in the 21st century. They've aged terribly. Are you ready to see some of them?
I am, yes, go on.
Here's OAP Ken and Barbie. Yeah. Ghana Barbie, straight blonde locks, placed by a curly grey rinse. Her breasts have sagged a bit, see? And her hips are much wider.
She's also become a zebra.
Just
You still would though.
Or if
wouldn't you?
you're American, a zebra.
Zebra. Apparently she had an affair with the Chips doll from Chips, what's his name? Eric Estrada from Chips. She had an affair with him, but Ken took her back. This proves that Ken isn't gay. They both live in Bournemouth now.
But look, Ken's got a little bit
Yeah, he's got a paunch, he's got man boobs. He's grey. He hasn't lost his hair though, has he?
No.
So that's Ken and Barbie there.
Ken's still got it.
Mr. Potato Head, as he is now.
It's a flumps, isn't it?
The flumps. Looks like Gene Hackman in that film. What's that film Gene Hackman did about the electrician? Never mind.
Cable guy.
Now, Mr. Potato Head wants to thank you, all of us, because he's been in hospital for about a few years because he had problems with his melanoma, his tuberocular melanoma or a potato eye cancer. You see, look, he's got those. He's on his last legs.
Has a bit of him gone green?
Freedom has gone green. Last one I want to mention from this lovely book is Thomas the Retired Tank Engine. Look at his face.
He looks like an evil maniac.
Now, apparently, this is shocking. After numerous derailments, right, which he tried to pin on a little engine that could, Thomas was pensioned off by the Fat Controller. He now rests in an orthopaedic siding next to the Hogwarts Express.
He looks like he's had some serious
Yes,
medication there.
yeah.
He's dribbling.
He's dribbling, yeah. He dribbles from there as well. Now I found 2 more.
Yeah.
Shocked
Do you
you.
know what though? He's still smoking, isn't he?
He's still smoking. Yeah, he's still smoking.
Despite all the doctor's advice,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah, 2 more which aren't in the book.
bloody smoker.
Yeah,
you
one
know.
is Fag Puss. Now you can see here, Fag Puss actually ate 4 of the original singing mice. And in revenge, when Oliver Postgate sacked him, and he's got now an alcohol dependency and cannabis addiction. And he lives in a park bench with the Fondles.
He's only got one life left, isn't he?
He's one life for a family. He's a big fat furry cat puss. And he lives in the Fondles, a small bunch of men, of hairy men who, Wimbledon Common, who give little children Werther's original sweets. And of course, there's another one, of course.
Yeah, go on.
Remember Mr. Bump?
Yeah, of course I remember Mr. Bump.
And Mr. Bump, when what's his name? When Arthur Lowe died, he changed his religion.
Yeah.
He found God.
Yeah.
Changed his name.
Yeah.
Mr. Jihad. So he's somewhere in the Middle East. I don't know where he is. Where's this found God? In his own way.
Mr. Jihad. So, when he does self-destruct, do they put bandages on him? Can I put him back together?
No.
I think he's done after that, yeah?
No. Yes. Yes. That's very good. I hope that's pleased you.
That's really pleased me.
Yes.
I don't know what to say after that. I'm shocked.
Are you shocked? You should be.
Sorry. Hang on. Do that again.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Pretty shit terrorist.
Did you know that when I was a child, I was given a toy with a little pull ring.
Yeah.
To pull it, it used to go 25, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 45. It was an auction man. I've still got it.
Do you know what? That picture has shocked me, Yasser. I think the only thing we could talk about now is Jim Davison.
Yeah, I found this. This was on like the red top tabloids, and I don't read the broadsheets because I can't read. So I actually look at the tits on page 3. Right? Either the Star or the Sun, just as good. Right? And I wasn't disappointed because the tits on page 3 this week was actually Jim Davison. There it is. Right? And what it is, Jim's actually, who was a famous homophobic and racist comedian back in the 70s. Not acceptable now.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, before racism and homophobia was bad. Right, this was back in the 70s. Right, he's actually backing gay marriage now.
Wow.
Right, so
He's
this is a
backing
turnaround.
gay marriage?
He's backing. No, he's actually backing it. He's saying, you know, this is, and he's
He's
sort
not
of
gay
quote.
himself, though, is he?
Oh no, Jim's he's a straight man, Jim. He's actually saying here, his quote in the paper is, straight folk mustn't suffer on their own, right? Jim, this is bollocks, because I actually went to marriage guidance counselling, which
Well,
was,
you've been married before.
I believe it or not, yeah. I'm not gay either.
Nicky Clark has been married before.
Now divorced, right? But I say divorced, we weren't technically married. That we had everything that you'd think with a marriage, you know, we had a house and a Labrador dog, but there were certain things that made us sort of not married. The fact that...
Well, you didn't have sex?
Well, no, we didn't have a marriage licence, but I still got a blowjob, so that made us not married. That made us not married,
Just
right?
one?
Just one, once a year. The milkman got two.
There's always one. There's always one.
Tell me about it. That was a sympathy blowjob, that was, by the way. The only reason I used to have a blowjob off her was it got to the point in our relationship that you should look forward to the silence of having a blowjob. That was the only reason I had a blowjob, right? That was the
And that's
reason.
all the feminists gone. Thank you for joining the lock-in.
Okay. Right, but Jim's saying this, that straight men mustn't, straight people, straight folk, they mustn't suffer on their own, right? This is absolutely bollocks, because this is a true story now. When I went to marriage guidance counsellor, they tell you all sorts of shit and give you advice, and they, you know, you've got to pay them £80 a fucking hour for this, which is even more fucking heartbreaking. I can tell you that.
It's not cheap.
But you've got to actually push sexual boundaries. This is what they advise you to do, right? And there's actually a topic now, it's called anal play for men. This, I'm not making this up, anal play for men. It's in Cosmopolitan and Vogue, right? It's okay, right?
Surprise.
Anal play for men, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise known, anal play for men is otherwise known as women's revenge. No, so when Jim says straight men mustn't suffer on their own, right, you're actually advised, the worst thing in that counsellor's office, I actually said to that counsellor, the worst thing in my life, paying £80 an hour, was, no, I didn't realise the male G-spot was up his bum. Right? That was the worst thing that I said, right? Because the advice that she then gave, we had to take a trip to Ann Summers. No,
Bend over boyfriend.
so I don't know if you know, there's actually a whole anal department in Ann Summers, right? Now this is actually unbelievable because they've actually got things that she has to wear on a belt, right? Yeah. Also, she's got something that she thought she was going to insert into me that's big enough to play rounders with, right? Now the worst thing you can do with anal play for men is presume anything's going to be okay to be inserted into you, right? She actually told me, the counsellor said, there's something new, it's up north, right, it's brand new, right, it's an abbreviation, it's called fubbing, right, fubbing, right, this is, you can Google it, right, I'm not making this up.
And what does fubbing stand for?
I'm glad you asked, Rick. I'm glad you asked. It's an abbreviation. It actually stands for finger up bum. Right? It's a northern phrase, right? When you look at a finger like that, you naturally presume it's an acceptable size to be inserted into. Right? This is a mistake. The first thing I did was make sure she trimmed the fingernails back to the fingertips. That's health and safety, right? You've got to remember, right? Second thing, you have to remove all jewellery, right? All jewellery. Now,
Jingle jangle, jingle jangle.
jingle jangle, jingle jangle, right?
Now, hang on then. So one then.
For me to achieve a multiple orgasm, right? For me to achieve a multiple orgasm, this is what was promised to me. It's going to save my relationship £80 an hour. It's worth it, right? She said we've got to work as a team for me to achieve it. Well, I've got to work the front end, and she's working the business end at the back, right? This is actually true. Now, she said without any further ado, she put me in the doggy style position, right? Yeah, now this is actually, for a straight man to be in the doggy style position, and she said I was going to get the sensation of a multiple orgasm. The only sensation I was getting was that of being mugged, right? Of being in the doggy style position, right? So it made perfect sense that we're working as a team, right, to tell you the truth, because whenever she had a multiple orgasm, we worked as a team. There was me, her and the rampant rabbit. Now, I actually played a very important part in her having an orgasm. I did, Sean, because it couldn't have happened without me, because I was the one who had to go downstairs to get the batteries out of the TV remotes. Right? But you see, the thing is, the bottom line of this story, pardon the pun, the bottom line of this story is that when I had to give her the signal, right? When you know when I say the signal, I don't want to turn this into too sort of something smutty, right? The signal.
Well, not yet.
Right? Not yet. Right? I had to give it the signal.
I think you hit that about 20 minutes ago.
See, the thing is, for a man to achieve a suspected multiple orgasm, I'm using that word as alleged, right? It's all about timing, right? It's all about you have to get the timing. It's a bit like going through a speed camera, right? If you fuck it up, you're in trouble, right? That's the bottom line of it. So she said to me, "Give me a signal when you're ready," right? About 2 seconds. I thought, well, fuck me, 2 seconds is a bit too near the bone, isn't it? Yeah, 2 seconds. For any man will tell you, if you're 2 seconds away from the male ejaculation, you're too far down the road to reverse back up and have another go. It's not like this where you can do take 2, is it? You know what I mean? You're fucked, right? So you're absolutely fucked. So I'm thinking to myself, 4 seconds is a more appropriate time for me to achieve. I've lied to her yet again. I did lie in our relationships. Now, at 4 seconds, right? At 4 seconds, I've give her the signal. Right? Yeah. I've give her the signal. This is what I'm doing, and she then proceeded, right, to ram, right? And whatever accent you've got, whenever you use the word ram, right, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't sound gentle, does it? Right? It just doesn't sound gentle. And when this happens, there's actually certain knee-jerk reactions happen around your body. This happens automatically. For example, your hands automatically tighten and clench. This is okay and acceptable if you're holding onto the mattress. It gives you a bit of support. It wasn't acceptable for me because I was still holding onto my cock. So not only is this preventing the multiple orgasm that I'm promised, it's actually preventing the single orgasm that I'm guaranteed. So that's about my story on Jim Davison. I don't know how I've sidetracked to that, but there you go.
Jim,
Did you know that if you have a dog bite your arm, the only way you can get it off is by sticking your finger up his arse?
Yeah, you know something? I'm not into bestiality with animals.
do you know what?
Right?
Ann Summers have got a whole department on that.
on dogs, right? Biting your arm, and it's a good excuse.
I just had word from the director that whole episode is going to be cut that bit.
Right, okay.
Joking. But you got a nice story about diamond geezers.
Diamond geezers, yes. Yes. Moving on from sodomy, a man in Australia apparently rode a bicycle to a jewellery shop, stole a pink diamond worth £135,000 and swallowed it and pedalled away on his bicycle. It's like the heist of the century. And then the following day was quick enough to get a flight to New Zealand. And apparently he was stopped at customs in New Zealand where they x-rayed him in search of the pink diamond that he'd allegedly swallowed the day before.
Is this going to be another finger story?
Well, no. See, they said to him, they said, look, we know, they said, welcome to New Zealand. We've got suspicion that you've swallowed a diamond, or maybe 6 diamonds. You can either have a finger up the bum or an x-ray. So he said, well, I think, I'm a Yorkshireman, I'll have an x-ray. So apparently they've x-rayed him and the x-ray results are inconclusive. So they're detaining this diamond geezer until he has a poo.
What else was up there?
Well, blood on your poo, or going more often with looser poo, are possible signs of bowel cancer.
So they're looking for the diamond in the roughage.
Yeah. And if ever, you want to see a wag rummaging through a pile of shit, put a pink diamond in.
Put him there in New Zealand airport.
Yeah. Great stuff.
It wasn't pink before it went in.
Yes, the pink poo. We've heard of the pink pound. Now we've got the pink poo.
If you just get, what's his name? Christopher Timothy.
Yeah.
Take him there.
Christopher Timothy.
He was in Only Creatures Brave and Small.
Oh yes.
Now he'll get it out.
James Herriot. Was it James
Herriot.
Yes.
He'll get it out. He'll get his gloves on and put the hand all up to the elbow.
Oh, he did the cow. Right up the cow's
And he'll
butt.
find the diamond.
Yeah. He'd find the Star of
Can we
India.
have a different type of guest?
Let me use my head.
Next week, can we have a different type of guest, please? And that is it for part 2 of the lock-in. Join us after the break for part 3. Thank you.
Full of rectums. Not rectums.
Jesus Christ.
Not rectums.
Smells like teen desperation.
Is that?